There's a silent ache in the hearts of many men as they age, a whisper that says, "You're no longer desirable." Society sells the lie that attraction fades with youth, that older men are left behind in the world of love and connection. But here's the truth that couldn't be further from reality. In a chaotic modern world filled with emotionally unavailable, attention-hungry boys, mature men who embody calm strength and quiet wisdom become rare treasures. Younger women aren't blind to that. In fact, many are craving what only an older man can offer: emotional depth, masculine presence, and lived experience. So if you've ever felt invisible, uncertain, or wondered if the spark of desire still belongs to you, you're not alone. But you're also not powerless. You don't need to dye your hair, dress like a teenager, or chase validation. What you need is to understand your hidden edge, your psychological advantage. In this video, I'll break down 5 powerful secrets that older men can use to naturally attract younger women. Not through tricks or gimmicks, but through timeless principles rooted in confidence, leadership, and Stoic mastery. This is about reclaiming your power and commanding respect without saying a word. Let's dive in. Secret number 1, commanding presence, silence, strength, and the power of stillness. In a noisy world, silence speaks louder than words. Most young men today are addicted to noise. Loud clothes, louder opinions, and desperate gestures that scream insecurity. But as an older man, your greatest advantage is your calm, centered presence. When you enter a room and don't demand attention, but command it, you become magnetic. Younger women aren't just seeking excitement. They've seen enough chaos. They're seeking security, certainty, and someone who isn't rattled by the world. That kind of presence is rare and extremely attractive. Psychologically, this taps into a primal instinct. Women are drawn to men who radiate control over their emotions. It tells them, this man can handle life. He won't crumble under pressure. That trust creates immediate emotional safety, and with safety comes attraction. Imagine this: a crowded bar, a sea of young men competing for attention, laughing too loud, posturing for dominance. And then there's you, shoulders relaxed, slow and intentional movements, eyes that observe without seeking approval. When she meets your gaze, she sees more than a man. She sees stability, depth, and confidence earned through experience. Your presence becomes the pause in her noise, and in that pause, desire begins. Never underestimate the power of stillness. In a world of chaos, your calm is seductive. Secret number 2, purposeful speech. Speak like a man who knows himself. Words matter, but what matters more is how you speak. Most young men talk to impress, but older, wiser men, they speak to express truth. And that's exactly what younger women find irresistible. There's something intensely attractive about a man who speaks slowly, with clarity and intention, who pauses before answering, who listens more than he talks, and never feels the need to prove himself. This isn't just communication. It's a display of psychological strength. When you speak from a place of experience, not ego, when your words carry weight instead of noise, people listen, especially younger women. This works on a subconscious level. When you communicate with purpose, it signals maturity, intelligence, and emotional depth, traits that trigger both admiration and desire. Younger women aren't just attracted to what you say, they're pulled in by how you say it. Example, she's venting about the drama in her friend group. Most guys her age jump in with jokes or unsolicited advice. But you nod, let her speak, then offer a calm, insightful observation, one that reveals you understand more than you show. That moment creates an emotional imprint. You become the one who gets it, the man who doesn't just talk, he guides, grounds, and leads with his voice. Master your speech. Let every word count. In a world full of noise, your clarity becomes unforgettable. Secret number 3, emotional strength. Be the eye of the storm. Younger women don't want a perfect man. They want a man who doesn't fall apart under pressure. And this is where most men, especially the young, fail. They react. they get jealous, they get needy. But you've lived through storms, and now you are the eye of the storm. Emotional strength isn't about being stoic in the robotic sense. It's about being unshakable. When a woman sees that you don't need her to feel whole, that you can hold space for her emotions without collapsing into them, that's deeply attractive. This goes beyond confidence. It's about emotional maturity. You've been through life's highs and lows, and now you walk with empathy, not insecurity. Psychologically, this is about attachment safety. A woman's brain is wired to scan for consistency, someone who won't flip the script or disappear when things get messy. When you show her that you can stay grounded, even when she can't, she sees you as a man she can trust and want. Imagine she gets emotional, overwhelmed, unsure. Instead of reacting or withdrawing, you sit beside her, calm, present. You don't fix, you just exist fully and listen. That act alone is rare and unforgettable. Older men who possess emotional discipline become the lighthouse in her storm. Be that man. Secret number 4. Authentic masculinity. Lead without dominating. Leadership isn't about control, it's about direction. And younger women are deeply attracted to older men who lead, not through force, but through authentic masculine energy. Here's the truth. The modern dating world is filled with men who either dominate with insecurity or withdraw out of fear. But when you strike that powerful balance, leading with calm intention and quiet strength, you stand out in a way that makes her feel both safe and desired. This kind of masculine energy doesn't shout, it doesn't beg, it moves with quiet certainty. Psychologically, this connects to polarity, the dance of masculine and feminine energy. When you lead with grounded, present, masculine energy, it allows her to relax into her feminine essence. This polarity creates intense attraction. Story. You're out on a spontaneous day trip. Instead of asking, "What do you want to do?" 100 times like most guys, you say, "We're going to a place I love. I think you'll enjoy it." That decisiveness, that calm confidence in your choice, turns her on. She feels held, seen, guided, not controlled. That's real leadership. Remember, masculine energy isn't loud. It's focused, still, and directed. Younger women can feel it instantly, and once they do, they won't forget it. Lead from your center. That's where your power is. Secret number 5. Depth over drama. Share your story, not your ego. You've lived, you've made mistakes, you've learned things younger men haven't even faced yet. That experience? It's not baggage, it's a treasure, but only if you learn how to share it wisely. Women love stories, especially real ones. When you speak about your past, not to brag, but to offer perspective, you create intimacy. You show her that life has touched you, and yet you remain unbroken. But here's the key. Don't overshare. Don't trauma dump. Instead, reveal parts of yourself like chapters in a book she's excited to read. Let your depth unfold slowly, with honesty and emotional intelligence. Psychologically, this builds emotional resonance. It shows her that you're not shallow, that your worth isn't based on surface charm, but on substance. Example, she asks you what shaped you most. You smile and say, "The day I failed and realized it wasn't the end, it was the beginning." Then you tell her that story, not to impress, but to connect. This kind of vulnerability isn't weakness, it's rare strength. It says, "I know who I am. I've been broken, and I've rebuilt myself." Let your scars be your signature, not for sympathy, but for connection. You're not just older, you're deeper, and that is what she craves. The impactful conclusion. Here's the truth. Attraction isn't about age, it's about energy. And older men have access to a kind of energy that most younger men haven't earned yet. Stillness, purpose, emotional depth, and clarity. You don't need to chase. You don't need to impress. You simply need to stand in your truth, to lead with calm confidence, speak with intention, feel deeply without being controlled by emotions, and share your story with authenticity. Younger women aren't searching for boys pretending to be men. They're searching for men who know who they are, who can hold space, lead with heart, and love without losing themselves. If you embrace these principles, you won't just attract, you'll inspire. You'll create connections that are richer, more meaningful, and grounded in truth. So own your age, own your strength, and most of all, own your presence. If this spoke to you, subscribe for more videos on mastering masculinity, dating with wisdom, and becoming the strongest version of yourself. Share this with a man who needs to hear it, and comment below. What's your biggest challenge or insight when it comes to age gap dating? You're not fading, you're just entering your prime, and the world is finally ready for you.